We're celebrating our 300th episode
today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast.
And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson.
Well, welcome everyone to the WBNL Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where together we align, connect, and prosper. Today we're going to take you through every single episode from number 1 all the way to 299. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that to you. But we are going to celebrate, for crying out loud. I don't know, Jan O'Brien. Do you know any statistics on podcasts? I probably should have looked this up before we started talking about this today, but I would dare say that most podcasts don't make it to episode 300.
No, they do not. And do you happen to remember the date of our first podcast,
Well,
Matt?
I don't remember the exact drop date, but it was January of 2018 when we actually started podcasting.
As a matter of fact, take a look at this clip from our very first episode.
Welcome to Wandering But Not Lost, your online source for finding balance so that you can align, connect, and prosper. And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson.
Welcome everybody to our Wandering But Not Lost podcast, our very first, our inaugural episode. I'm Jan O'Brien.
And I am Matt Emerson, and we are really excited to be coming to you today. We've been talking about this for a long time, haven't we, Jan?
Yes, we have. 2017, we probably had it on our list of goals, because we're going to talk about that today, goals and outcomes and finding ways that you're going to set yourself up for the new year. And we had it on there, but I'll tell you, we also decided, I think, Matt, that 2018 was going to be our year, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
All right, so WBNL coaching. So let's talk about a little bit about who we are and what this format of our show is going to be, because we're going to kind of cover 3 segments. Our goal is to do this weekly, correct?
That's correct.
We're in.
Yeah, welcome to the WBNL Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where real estate and reality meet. It is episode 100. Happy New Year. It's a new decade. And Jan O'Brien, we have reached episode number 100. What do we got going on today?
In episode 100, after we have tested this 3 or 4 times, we're hoping this video comes out splendidly, and we're going to talk we're going to review the last, not decade, but the last existence of WBNL podcast, some of the highlights, and I've got a cool thing to share with everybody today, which is 100 business building ideas.
I feel like getting this started today was a whole decade in itself.
It certainly was.
Oh my God. Fun times. Good times.
So bear with us. Bear with in episode 100. We may be having to find a different way to record live. We're not recording live, actually. Thank God, because...
Well, maybe we are. Are we or aren't we? Huh. Guess we don't really know that. All right.
I don't know. We were on like the 5th attempt at this, folks, and but that's part of the fun, right? We started out with live. I mean, we're not afraid of video. We know what the deal is, so...
Right, we are.
All right, so we're going to... the thing is, Matt needs to be the editor and the director of this thing, because I clearly don't have it down
Okay,
yet.
Here's the thing. I have a feeling I'm going to be a little bit like Anderson Cooper and be giggling this entire episode.
Oh my God.
I've got the giggles, I got to say. Did you watch any of that?
Yeah.
Did you see the whole thing with Sherry O'Terry and the Barbara Walters thing?
That was the highlight. That was so funny.
You know, Matt, I was noticing in that clip how great you look. Pretty much the same, your hairstyle, through 300 episodes. I'm not sure I can say the same
All
thing.
I know is, Jan O'Brien, if you really sit back and just kind of start watching the videos, it is kind of fun to watch the transformation of Jan O'Brien from the first episode through kind of a metamorphosis, like a little cocoon and a little butterfly getting ready to come out. And then her 300th episode looks exactly the same as she did in 2018.
Well, and honestly, if I went ahead and just put my glasses on, it would pretty much be what I look like in 2018.
Actually,
hairstyle.
The great thing about kind of going back...
Leave these on, I can see better.
Well, what do you know? About going back and looking at old episodes and kind of reliving some of the stuff we talked about was the fact that we have been muy consistent in our podcast messages, really. Because if you go back to that very first episode, not only do we talk about align, connecting, and prospering, we talk about wandering Zen, we talk about getting up and getting out. I mean, it's crazy that we have been very consistent with our messaging. Now, format of our podcast has changed a little bit, right? How do we start out?
Well, how do we start out?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple different segments in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
when we were doing
completely. As that first little clip showed you, we designed this to have 3 segments because in the very beginning,
right,
as we said in that clip, there was going to be a business tip, a Wandering Zen, which was Matt's area, where he was really focusing on the travel blog, which you can still find a lot of great content at wanderingbutnotlost.com.
Yeah, it's still there.
And the third episode was going to be.
It was really just.
the third piece.
It was just like
pieces.
our kind of our main topic for the day, or if we had a guest, or if we had a main
that's right. Coach
subject.
Business tip. We had a Wandering Zen, and then we would interview someone, or we'd have whatever the topic was.
At the time, those business tips were called the WBNL 52. Remember
exactly
that?
Right. A weekly WBNL 52. 100% stuff that you could use. So and here's the other thing that was interesting. If we just go back, we started out using audio and video for how many? 4 episodes?
The first 3 episodes.
First 3 episodes. Then we went completely audio.
Right.
Until our
100th episode.
Our 100th episode.
Yep.
And now here we are at 300, and we have been doing video, so it's on YouTube, but it's also, Matt puts it all out there on all the podcast channels, so you can hear the audio portion. So what do you think? Are we going to do another 300?
At least another 300 episodes. It was interesting because, talking about those episodes, just the podcast episodes, actually just recordings, the audio recordings, I used to break it up every week. So really, we posted 3 podcasts every week. There was the main podcast that had all 3 segments.
10.1, 10.2.
Exactly. And then there was one that was just the real estate segment, and then there was one that just was the wandering segment, so people could just pick and choose what they wanted to listen to or listen to the whole thing. So it was pretty cool. We figured that, roughly our podcasts were, an average about 45 minutes long. So if you really go back and look at that, that's 13,455 minutes of podcasting, Jan O'Brien.
Which is how many hours?
200 and, I don't know the exact number, but I have it, 224.25 hours of podcasting.
And you were telling me if you gave people the weekends off, how long would it take to listen to all of our podcasts?
So here's the deal. If this is the first time you're watching our podcast or listening to us on any of the platforms, if you want to catch up and start from the beginning, and we do give you the weekends off because, you need to get out and wander. We need you to get up and get out. You can't be doing the same thing all the time. But it would take you a whole year to get through our entire library, which, I'm going to tell you something. I was kind of impressed as I was looking through our stuff.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of great topics.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of great guests, and we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Congratulations, Matt Emerson, Jan O'Brien, 300 episodes of WBNL. God, in my quick math, that's over 9 years of showing incredible commitment and discipline every Friday, and coming up with wonderful content and great personality, great enthusiasm. You guys are a gift to real estate and a greater gift to humanity. And I can't thank you for the friendship that both of you have extended to me and all the good times and success that we've had. Could not have done it without Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson, 2 of my favorite people. And I wish you both continued success, happiness, and good health. God bless.
So we decided for our 300th episode, we planned the idea of let's get out and about, which is where we are right now. Where are we right now, actually?
We're in the Deer Canyon Park Reserve here in Anaheim Hills, California. Very cool. Jan and I have done some hiking here. I live pretty close to here, and we thought, it's so cool. And what we talk about all the time when we talk about getting up and getting out is usually you don't have to get too far out of your own home to find a place that is that gets you back into nature. I mean, we're really fortunate here around where I live because there's a lot of hiking trails and a lot of we're right on the edge of the Cleveland National Forest, so there's a lot of open land. But no matter where you are, you can get up and get out, and that we've lived by it, and we walk our talk.
And honestly, I couldn't be happier because I'm out of the 115 degree heat of Las Vegas as we record this, because it is beautiful here today in Anaheim Hills in this park. Probably 80 something degrees.
Low 80s.
It's overcast slightly, so it's not even that sunny. And this is something that we've done quite a bit, and we always talk about get up and get out. That's one of our taglines here at WBNL, which is Wandering But Not Lost.
Congratulations, Matt and Jan. 300th podcast. That is truly amazing, and kudos to the both of you.
We're looking forward to the next 100. Keep it going, guys. It's awesome.
And again, as dear friend would say, be forever wandering but not lost. Those days, evenings in the mountains certainly are a motivation, I'm quite sure.
What a ride.
And I feel even more so after all these episodes how important it is to get out and get creative. I do this all the time now, but it's exciting. We're here this weekend. We're actually going to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
We'll have upcoming, stay tuned, you'll get the clips of when we were in Disneyland, which we've got a great episode that we did there a long time ago. How many years ago was that one? Do you remember what episode
I think that was episodes. You know what? Talk amongst yourself. I have some notes here. I happen to have a note on that.
But we're going to enjoy Disneyland. I've got my nephew and great nephew this weekend to go enjoy it as well.
That was episode 23.
No, it was
not. That was a long time ago. I thought it was more recent than that.
And honestly, that was I think it was one of my birthdays.
Yeah, it was your birthday. We were celebrating the big Jan's something.
Well, same as you, whatever it is, that's something.
Exactly.
But we get so creative when you get out and you can do some working meetings. So one of the things that we've been talking recently about how important it is to do this Align, Connect, Prosper.
That's right.
Start your day with some kind of morning routine, or you could even take that to your meetings and you take it outside. You connect with nature, you enjoy the moment, but you might be able to even make it a bit of a business meeting and get some things done, like recording your 300th episode.
Yeah, we've done that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Jan and I actually came up with WBNL coaching while we were wandering.
Let's tell that quick story, because that's where I was headed.
Yeah, we were wandering down in San Diego at Mount Palomar, as a matter of fact, doing a hike. And Jan had a coaching company that she was formulating and getting off the ground. And I was going to try to do some sort of, wandering traveling sort of business. And the more we talked, the more we started coming together. And by the time we finished that hike and we're having a lovely Mexican meal and started scratching things out on napkins.
No, it was the back of the menu.
That's right. It was.
And I have that somewhere.
Yeah,
we sketched out Wandering But Not, because at that time I had got a domain name that was HMB Coaching, Heart, Mind, Business, which is where Align, Connect, Prosper comes from, which is we're coming full circle on all of that, because it really is when you are doing what it is you want to do and your heart is connected with your mind, then everything flows and you're working from your passion. That is the real excitement, and that's what I envisioned in starting a coaching company. We tied real estate into it, but we literally turned over the placemat was a paper placemat, and we're like, he had wanderingbuttnotlost.com. Believe it or not, he still has wanderingbuttnotlost.com. I had HMB Coaching, Heart My Business Coaching, and we just melded together and said WBNL, Wandering But Not Lost Coaching, and that was born.
It's so interesting, Jan, too, because it shows how where your mind was at that time. Because you were down the path. You were going down the path. You had the name, you had the logos designed, you had your colors, everything taken care of. And in that conversation that day, you morphed, right? Yep. And I think that it was a magical day. It was really, really cool to go through that whole process. And then we just started. We jumped right in.
Honestly, we did. And we always knew that we would be, obviously, real estate online courses is where we would
because
start.
We've only been doing that together. Together for quite a while, but also on our own
individually.
For,
30 years.
Yeah, I was going to say 30 years now.
30 years individually.
Right.
Combined 60 plus years of real estate experience. So that's why we have the real estate courses and team building, and those were our areas, and helping brokers and getting our training program so people can use it for their teams and brokerages. But honestly, where we're headed with WBNL coaching moving forward is to come full circle with the Heart, Mind, Business idea and Align, Connect, Prosper, which is a lot stronger. And you integrate these principles that we've been coaching and teaching for years, but not just for real estate industry professionals, because I think there's so many people who are out there right now who are just wanting to start their own business, that really have the entrepreneurial spirit, who maybe need the basic guidance and support and help about how do you figure out how to get a business started, how do you figure out what you're passionate about and what you should be doing, and how do you turn that into a business, and we're going to focus a lot on that. So everything we do moving forward will help any kind of business owner. We'll obviously have real estate tips and continue with all of that, but we're going to broaden our horizons and reach out to and hope to reach a new audience of people in this. Frankly, COVID brought one of the positive changes in my mind that COVID changed is the way people can work.
That's right.
And there's so many people that have regular jobs that can work remotely, which is where a lot of our business comes from. Cosmo and I would say 60% of the people that we work with that are buyers from out of state are coming to Vegas because they're remote workers, and that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have COVID. But there's more people that are in the space of I don't want to work. I mean, maybe what that did was I don't want to work for some job.
Yep.
I want to work for myself, and that's really where we're going to take things moving forward.
And really and truly, a lot of the principles and practices and systems and tools and everything that we actually had designed for real estate are easily transferable to any other business. I mean, besides the detail of actually taking listings and all of that, but just the general business practices. And once again, Jan and I have been in business for a long time, and we talk about SOPs and business planning and all of the things that are that really transcend across any platform or anything. If you're either working on your own by yourself, you have a small business, or all the way up into building a Fortune 500 company. It's all the same thing, right?
It's business planning, goal setting. It's do the daily. So I don't care what your business is as an entrepreneur, you should start the day right with yourself.
That's right.
Mindset, get out, take care of yourself, take care of yourself first so you can help others in your life and in your business. And then honestly, you've got to prospect. You've got to find people who are going to want the service or the product or whatever it is you do. You have to follow up with the leads that you have. You're going to have active sales and no matter what your thing is, and then you're going to have a lot. The fifth area in Do the Daily is all the admin stuff. So no matter what your business is, we all have a tendency to do more in that admin time, and we're not out doing things to generate more sales.
That's right.
And, using social media or however you're going to do that is all of what we're going to continue to expand and share with people as we move forward. So we're excited about 301 forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lauren Namazi from Namazi Real Estate Resources. And I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate my friends, Matt and Jan, on this amazing milestone of the 300th episode of their Wandering But Not Lost podcast. These two started out years ago with an idea, and they've built it into this amazing empire that benefits the industry and so many agents in so many ways. They realize that sometimes you have to burn the candle at both ends for a while, and that the sacrifices you make today will benefit you tomorrow. So I'm really proud to have shared in just a couple of ways along their journey, and I cannot wait to see what else is to come. Congrats, you guys.
And just looking back at the library of videos that we've done, or so much of what we've just been talking about. We've done every year. We do a business planning podcast and courses and workshops, and there's been a lot of conversation around that morning routine and how you actually get into the right headspace whenever you're working on your plan and working on your business. So a lot of that stuff has been ongoing throughout the podcast. What I've really enjoyed, first of all, that whole talk about COVID, our COVID podcast for that, gosh, God forbid, what was almost really a year long.
2000 basically.
Yeah, it really was. There was a lot of inspirational stuff in that, and
2000.
Yeah,
2020.
yeah.
That's
that was
2020. Fast forward 20 years, people.
A couple decades later, but whatever. You've reached the Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where real estate and reality meet. This is episode 124. You can find all of our show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Jan, I'm looking forward to this conversation today. I think everybody needs this. It's I'm sure if it's not on people's mind, it needs to be. So what are we going to talk about?
So I was looking for some content for today because I don't know if you're feeling like I am, Matt. As we record this, it's a Friday. It's June 26th. So just if you're listening and it's later than then, the world it's just not going to stop. This virus thing is just not going to stop for a while. And we've talked for weeks now about limiting how much information you take in and finding ways to find the balance. And I came across this and I loved it. And I thought, wow, this is the problem. It's so unknown, and the anxiety of the unknown and worrying is what's causing so much. That's why we're going to share these three things to help you be more productive. Be in the moment. That's the key thing here, and find that elusive, first of all, finding work-life balance has always been elusive. Now, on top of that, when you talk about cabin fever and all that, so let's bring it all together and let's dive in and talk about these three things and see if we can share what we've been doing on these three things, Matt.
But it was fun to look back on some of those shows. I'm going to put a lot of the stuff and links to some of our old shows and kind of highlights in the show notes. because we were talking about the experience that so many people were experiencing at the time, right?
Yeah.
And going through that with the whole world, literally. So those COVID podcasts were really great. There was one that I actually interviewed my niece and nephew way back, and they were just in high school at the time, and how they were dealing with not being at school and doing Zoom classes and doing all of that stuff. It was really interesting. So those podcasts are all great. And then last year, or year before last, actually, at this point, we started a series called Ask Five, where we had so many great guests from across the nation, mostly brokers, but we had mortgage professionals in there as well. A couple authors that have written books. Our good friend Rick Hudson did a book on franchising, has a whole franchise book. Alex Gianetti, a friend of mine from way back when I used to work at Disney, has been in mortgage and in real estate for a number of years now, and has just written a book on prospecting and oh, come on, help me with the hard concepts here. Networking, that's
Networking is what Alex is all about.
Yeah, networking. Right. So it's really awesome to talk to these people that we've known for a long time and to actually share in their experience through their careers, right? And they, real estate has changed a lot, even in the time that we've known each other. Right?
Yeah, 100%. We're going to continue to do that. We'll talk to people. They don't have to be specifically real estate industry professionals, because we really just want to talk to people that inspire us, that then can inspire you, and we're all working towards the same goals of accomplishing what you want for your business and your life, and maybe setting yourself up for retirement.
Right.
As we look at that ourselves, and how do you create an exit strategy for yourself? So these are all the things that we're going to talk about.
And it's cool because, get on the Wandering Zen type of part of the podcast, where we actually have interviewed some people that have just done some awesome things. So Caprice, actually the woman that cuts my hair, she went on this incredible rafting trip down the Grand Canyon. I'll put those links in the show notes. And she talked all about that experience and how it really changed her life. Getting out and doing something in nature changed her whole perspective. So, it's just, no matter what you do for a living or how you live your life, throwing that nature and that traveling and the getting up and getting out into your business or into your life can make a profound difference in the way you think and the way you feel. And the way you behave.
And honestly, I feel like we should do more of that. We should get back to that Wandering Zen.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're going to be talking a lot about mindset, about aligning and connecting, and the things that can get in the way of you creating the business and the life that you want. So we're going to blend that. That's what we've always been. We're just going to continue and fine tune it and keep it to about 30 minutes or so, and continue on and hopefully bring inspiration and motivation and some tidbits and insights that are going to help you with what it is you're ready to accomplish.
Exactly. Jan O'Brien, here we are back at the California Adventure, Disneyland Resort. The last time that we were here together, it was episode 23 of the podcast. We were celebrating Jan's birthday. We did a lot of celebrating that day.
We did.
And it was really, really fun. We had a really good time. But it's crazy where the podcast has come from then and where how our business is growing. Think about it, Jan. In episode 23, well, since then, we have completely redone our Sales Builder program. And we are wildly active on YouTube that we were, unlike where we used to be back then. It's just awesome. We've just done a lot of new things with WBNL coaching. It's awesome. And continued podcasting. So.
We have courses online, real estate, and as we mentioned, we're going to be expanding out to help all entrepreneurs. But today, we're recreating that 23rd episode on our 300th episode with the champagne toast.
A little toast. There we
cheers.
Go. Cheers, Jan O'Brien.
Cheers, Matt Emerson. To a happy 300th episode and however many more we have.
Exactly. And I got to just make a little side note here. I am the luckiest guy in the world to have this one as my partner. She's awesome.
Ditto.
Yeah, well, I'll even toast to that.
And here's a toast to best partners in the world.
See, this is where it all starts. So by the end of the night, we'll be bowling. Who knows what will be happening.
The good news is there is no, hockey championship going on.
No, that's true.
All right, there it is.
All right, so you know what? Let's join Matt and Jan back where they were wandering in Anaheim Hills, and we'll sign off there.
Thank you for watching our 300th episode, and remember, get up, get out, and enjoy beautiful nature.
And as always, be forever wandering, but not lost.
Here we go.